Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another edition of the Narrator Podcast, and I am your host, Halsey Allen, your brother like no other. Welcome all my narrators. Welcome everybody newly tuning into the platform. Congratulations. If you're listening right now, you are now officially a narrator. The Narrator Podcast is the home of original people peace, original people reciprocity, and original people positivity. So, going to give you a brief overview of the Narrative Podcast platform, what it is I do here, and what you will be in store for listening to the Narrative Podcast today. All my narrators, they already know the demonstration. I'm just going to give a brief overview to the newbies before diving into the content, and we can get underway in just a sec. So, all right, before diving into the overview, we just want to take time out here on the Narrative Podcast to pay proper respect to a DJ legend, a pioneer, Chicago native, legendary DJ passes away, DJ Casper. If you're not familiar with him, he's the guy that made up the cha-cha slide. That's kind of like a, version of the electric slide. Slide to the left, slide to the right. If you know, you know. So Chicago in general, that city is notorious for like house music, and DJ Casper was definitely a pioneer of that genre of hip hop, and so we're going to honor him with the moment of silence. He passed away, natural causes. They said he had cancer, and so he lost his bout with cancer, and we're going to give him a brief moment of silence before walking you through the content. All right, so what is my platform about? What is the significance of the Narrative Podcast? So to find that out, let's start at the top, the tippy top, the name, the Narrative Podcast. What does that imply? So when I designed this platform, it was at a time when we were basically still kind of in quarantine like everybody else. Everybody was doing podcasting, and something when you're, forced to sit down, something you just kind of notice. I noticed that the media weaves a false narrative about original people and original culture. So what I want to do is take the time that I had been given to design a platform to, remedy that problem, how the media portrays our people and our culture. So I want to design a platform where I'm highlighting our strengths and playing, highlighting up our strengths and playing up all the positive things we do within our community and for our people. So on the Narrative Podcast, the whole platform is designed or centers around me, the host, Halsey Allen, providing you, the listener, or narrators, positive frames of reference about original people and original culture. The ultimate takeaway I want my listeners to get from this podcast, if nothing else, is how important it is to share positive content online on whatever platform you occupy about our people and our culture. Because, like I said, the media is divisive. They intentionally misrepresent our people and our culture for their own evil, greedy, base ends. So the last thing we need to do is play into, their hands by taking the bait, by posting negative content about our people and and our culture. Because we're now living in the digital age, and basically you're judged about whatever content that you're posting online. This is also how these corporations gather their data and produce content based around their statistical research. So whatever you're clicking on, whatever you're posting online, they create content based around that. Because while the media is evil, wicked, and diabolical, it's also a business. And the first rule of business is supply and demand. So they're creating and turning out, all these negative movies, television shows, and literature, and radio programs, and using our images and likenesses in a negative way, because they believe that's how we want to be represented and observed, based upon their statistical research, based upon us posting negative content. So, as I said, the media gives, people outside of our culture negative frames of reference about our culture. So just imagine if you're, Caucasian, or, just someone outside of our culture, and all you're giving frame of reference wise about our people and our culture is just basically what they see and what they hear in the media, and it's all negative, it's all divisive. This is to paint us into a negative light. So just imagine if we're, affirming what they've been given by posting these negative frames of reference about our people and our culture. So what I attempt to do on this platform is to provide positive frames of reference about our people and our culture. As a matter of fact, that's a perfect segue to my tagline, the Narrator podcast, changing the narrative one episode at a time by destroying negative stereotypes about original people and original culture. How do I destroy the negative stereotypes about our people and our culture? By providing you with positive frames of reference about our people and our culture. And I can't believe I forgot to do the stamp at the beginning, like right after the theme music. I've been doing that a lot lately, but here it go.
You are now listening to the Narrative Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.
So yeah, that's basically what I do is I provide the positive frames of reference about our people and our culture, to inspire people to post the types of stories that I post on this platform. And I post, stories about leadership, about entrepreneurship, about us unifying, coming together, standing in solidarity, being examples in our community, protecting our women, children, and elderly, and just being stand up model citizens, examples of the human experience, good examples of the human experience, not just, a drain on the resources as we're portrayed to be by the media. And again, it's intentionally done, mostly for profit, but then also to, give the dominant society a strong footing and assert their dominance and socioeconomic hold over the resources, and retain their grip on the nation's power structure wherever they are at in the world, because that particular, demographic of people have a history of being warlike, have a history of colonizing and just taking over, and have a history of, taking over civilizations and making it be in their image, not in the original Aboriginal people that inhabit the land. They want basically the whole world to emulate and look like them so they can feel superior to everyone else. So another thing here on my platform is it's time sensitive. I try to, give you an entire broadcast in a timely fashion. And the reason why I do that, it helps me to cover an array of topics without really, going on a tirade or a rant. I've elected to break my podcast into sections, and each section has a speaking point. And like I said, this helps me alleviate me just going down rabbit holes and talking in circles and jumping from one subject to another subject without really finishing a complete thought. It also helps to, help give my content nice cohesion and a nice flow to it, so you can listen to it at your leisure. You don't have to clear your entire schedule if you miss an episode of the Narrator podcast here and there, so you can just easily keep up. I try to accommodate all, levels of knowledge on my platform, so to make the knowledge applicable and general, and basically not shoot over people's heads, and also not dumb myself way down, but just put the knowledge out there, inspire critical thought, and just affirm that we're not alone in this, and help unify our nation, and put out those positive frames of reference and inspire positivity over the airwaves. Next thing, before diving into the content, on this platform, I refer to our people as original people as opposed to black. And the reason for me doing that, I believe original describes us better as a people as opposed to black. It's not that I'm definitely not ashamed of being black, but I just think original, describes us better than the word black, because for one, we're not black. Like, we have many different flesh tones, there are many different shades of us, but I know there are some very, very dark complected brothers and sisters out there, but they're not black. There's no such nationality as black, so why are we a black people? Also, I believe the word original better suits us because we were and are the original man and woman of this planet. We originated pretty much everything. We originated written language. We originated spoken language. We originated biology, chemistry, science, mathematics, agriculture, horticulture, alchemy, uh, medicine, pretty much before anything was, we was. And to refer to ourselves as original kind of, cements that fact, that actual factual fact that we were here before everybody else. And contrary to our unpopular belief, we didn't get to all these different corners of the globe via slave ships. Um, we were already originally located in many of, like, pretty much everywhere on the planet. Why slavery did exist, why it did happen, why it was horrendous and horrific and inhumane and barbarous and brutal. We're not all transplants of slave ships, especially here in the Americas. I think only a good, like, 60% of us came over here on slave boats. The rest of us, probably not even 60%, like probably like 57, 58% of us came over here on slave boats. And the rest of us was like already, like, originally located here, and the powers that be just started calling us black. But we are the original, natives of this land. But more to the point, black, the way the colonizers took over that word, has been associated, all negative adjectives associating the word black with it. But before they get to all that, they go out of their way to um, loop us into it. They loop us into it by denoting origin. That's the only color in the color spectrum when you look in the dictionary that denotes a person's origin. They'll say, a dark-skinned people originating or descending from Africa, or people possessing a dark pigment coming from Africa, and they'll, start saying all these negative words and giving negative examples on how to use the word black. So they'll be like, dirty, dusty, desolate, disastrous, calamitous, so on and so forth. Just all these negative things, associated with the word black. Some common things that's associated with the word black is like misfortune or unlucky, or, evil, wickedness, death, destruction, and chaos. They have all been, systematically linked to the word black. It also, symbolizes death, destruction, and the end of all things. And, our people is anything but that. We are the original. Now we go look at the word original, and you will see there's nothing negative really surrounding the word original. Original basically means the first, and I've said that already. I already established that we were and are the first people here. Our existence on this planet predates all religious tract. We was like on here, this in this physical plane. Like now, there's new evidence saying like billions of years. And we wasn't hunched over, we wasn't like in a Neanderthal state, or no evidence proving that our people descended or evolved from like primates, monkeys, orangutans, gorillas, simians, chimpanzees, whatever you want to call them, the furry creatures that swing in vines and eat bananas and coconuts. And like we didn't come from that. We was already like fully sentient, standing straight, creating citadels, land masses, you know, building tools, creating learning structures and civilizations, you know, nothing primeval or primordial about us in early times. Also, the word original unifies us as a people because there are so many different types of us, inhabiting so many different land masses, speaking so many different types of languages, so many different dialects of the same language, but you know, there's a whole lot of differences within us as a people. But the word original kind of unifies us as does it kind of it unifies us as a people because no matter where you're at, no matter what flesh tone you are, no matter what language you speak, no matter what ideology you embrace, you know, no matter what religion, no matter what political affiliation you are, no matter how you grew up, you know, cultural differences that we have, we all share one thing in common. We are original, and we can trace our lineage back to the original point that civilization began. And that's why I refer to our people as original people, you know, as possibly I can on this podcast, as often as possible. So, like, you know, if you want to refer to yourself as black, you want to say, hey, I'm black. I don't know what you're talking about. And like, go ahead. You know, I'm not trying to argue with nobody, not trying to debate anybody, not trying to come off like I'm super deep or super intellectual. I'm just saying, you know, the word original has a better ring to it than black, and just for all the different reasons that I named. If you want to refer to yourself as black, call yourself black, go right on ahead. This is not a you know, bashing zone. I don't, you know, I don't try to, you know, bash brothers and sisters on this platform. My purpose here is uplifting and edifying our people and to inspire all that listen to my podcast to do the same, uplift and edify our people because it's needed. Like, we get attacked on all fronts from all different people outside of our culture. So, you know, we need to retain a united front. And so that's what I attempt to do on this platform. All right. So, having said all that, I think I briefed you pretty good, and you guys get a pretty good gist of where I'm going with the content that I'm going to be providing today here on the Narrative Podcast. I'm going to go ahead on, dive right on into the content on my very first section of the Narrative Podcast. This very first section is called the promo section. In this section, what I'm doing is I'm giving people the opportunity to promote their projects, whatever they got going on. You know, original people that own and operate their own businesses or have their own product or service that they would need or would like promoted, the opportunity to hit me up and get those promoted on my platform for 110% free. I do have a following, so if you're a business owner or, you know, have an event, a product or service that you need or would like promoted, you know, hit me up, Halsey Allen, at Passion Webmail, at poeticpassion.host subject bar type promo, body of the email. Tell me a little bit about yourself, business, product, or service, or events that you want promoted, and I promote it for 110% for free right here on my platform, the Narrator Podcast. The reason why I'm doing that is to do my part to help circulate the original people dollar within the original people community by letting them know about, businesses and services they can support. Because while our people are due reparations, until we get them, it's up to 110% on us to support each other, support ourselves, but then also support our brothers and sisters out here that got their own thing, that are supplying jobs and keeping money in our community. So everybody got to play their part. Everybody got to do their parts, to keep the, wealth circulating, and, hiring our own, and just keep that, that circle going, of that growing circle going. You can start working for somebody else, get the sauce on how they did it, and then go start your own thing, but still keep on supporting them, and to be there for future generations. And, the neighborhood that have a business they can patronize without leaving the neighborhood and subjecting themselves to, cruel, bad customer service from people who, view us a certain way because of the frames of reference that they've been given to about our people. But I digress about that. And so I'm going to run it back one more time. I'm going to run it back one more time for that free promotion. Hit me up, Halsey Allen, Passion Webmail, reportedpassion.host, subject bar type promo. Body of the email, tell me a little bit about yourself, business, product, service, event that you need, would like, promote it, and I'll do it 110% for you for free right here on the Narrator Podcast. It's a free outlet. All business is good business. All promotion is, what's the saying? All publicity is good publicity. So I got a following, I got a platform. I'm not charging no money. Might as well take advantage. Go on ahead. You have nothing to lose, only something to gain. Hit me up. Get that free promotion. All right. On to my next section. Next section is called the contest section. And in this section, what I'm doing is I'm hosting a contest. Specifically for my platform, the Narrative Podcast. And the purpose of the contest is basically it's an incentive / reward, an incentive for new listeners to tune in, listen to me, knowing you're going to get something cool to listen, an incentive for people that have been supporting me from day one. You're going to get a free incentive gift. It's also listener participation until I get that good old hotline and Facebook Live and all that good junk other podcasts got. I've been at it for a while, but I've been having much success in the audio space, like tremendous amount of success in the audio space. But gotta level up. I'm going to do that in the future, but for right now, this is a way to connect with my listeners, my audience, give them basically homework, give them little topics to participate in. They show that they're listening and that they're paying attention and, digging the content. So giving them an opportunity to win a prize just for listening to me, Halsey Allen, on the Narrative Podcast. So the name of my contest is called the Chew on This Contest. And the prize that I'm giving away is a bulk supply of your favorite snack food item. Now, this is coming out of my pocket. I don't have any sponsors yet. I'm still shopping for sponsors. So I can give away more lavish, extravagant gifts. But for right now, bulk supply of your favorite snack food item is within my budget to give you all. So yeah, you have nothing to lose, only something to gain. It's the same exact email address that I just gave for the free promotion, but the difference is I'm separating the two through the subject bar. So keep your peepers on, pay very close attention. So to enter the Chew on This contest, you hit me up at passionwebmail at poeticpassion.host. And here's where it gets tricky. Now in the subject bar for the Chew on This contest, you type Chew on This / or dash shopping while black. You don't want to type in the whole word shopping while black, type SWB in all caps. And in the body of the email include your most recent shopping while black experience, because this is what the contest is about, sharing your most recent shopping while black experience, your mailing address, so I know where to send your prize, and your prize is a bulk supply of your favorite snack food item, and then of course your favorite snack food item, so I know what to get you for your prize. Very simple, self-explanatory, nothing hard, easy peasy. I'm gonna run it back one more time before going on to the next section here on the Narrator Podcast. So to enter the Chew on This contest, hit me up, Halsey Allen, at passionwebmail at poeticpassion.host. In the subject bar, type shopping or Chew on This / or dash, which is ever easier for you, shopping while black or SWB in all caps in the body of the email. Make sure to include your most recent shopping while black experience, your mailing address, so I know where to send your most recent, or where I know where to send your prize for the Chew on This contest, and then of course your favorite snack food item, so I know what to give you for your prize for entering the Chew on This contest. So that's it, and that's all. I ran it back, so I got tons of other episodes if you missed that information. But yeah, on to the next section here on the Narrative Podcast, which is really the kind of kickoff point of the Narrative Podcast. It is the highlight section. In the highlight section, what I'm doing is I'm highlighting businesses, existing businesses owned and operated by original people. And the reason why I'm doing that, because it's indicative of what I'm doing here, is to provide positive frames of reference about our people and our culture. And the positive frame of reference that I need to provide for our people and our culture is the positive frame of reference of entrepreneurialism, because it's not widely spread over media platforms. We're not, we're still underrepresented in that department, because the current shows that they have depicting us on, or the current shows they have available that they depict us on for entrepreneurialism, they're all toxic, they're all, degrading and degenerative, and showcase us in a negative light. We're so fixated, the producers of those types of shows get us to fixate and focus on the toxicity and the dysfunction and the violence factor, that we forget, we lose the focus of the people that are featured on these shows are earning 5 and 6 figure income. They have several people under their umbrella working for them. They're entrepreneurs. They have, million and billion dollar endeavors, but they focus the lens on the dysfunction, the ratchetness, them fighting each other, not networking with each other, not intelligently interacting with one another, uh, putting their heads together, solving their problems, resolving their conflicts in a mature, adult-like manner. It's name calling. It's fist, getting in legit fist fights. So they got, they're pushing the negative stereotype and stigmas of, original men being angry and violent, and also sisters being ratchet and violent as well. So, on here on the Narrator podcast, I'm bypassing that and I'm just giving it to you straight, the entrepreneurialism straight. I'm sharing stories within our community of people, about people that found their own way, that stepped out on faith, and started their own business, that are doing well for themselves, that are doing well for their community, doing something that they're passionate about. And then also, so yeah, I'm providing the positive frame of reference by entrepreneurialism. Just basically, walking you through an entrepreneur's journey. I'm providing stories from people that started at the bottom. They didn't necessarily have all the answers when they start their own business. They didn't necessarily have, all the financial means in which to start their business, educational or vocational know-how. They stepped out on faith and they made it happen. And those are the types of stories I convey. Also in this section, I'm, creating the healthy habit of patronizing our businesses and, spreading the word about original people-owned business. And all the businesses that I highlight in the highlight section, they fall under these criterias. They're original people owned and operated. The people that own them do for the community. Many of them are family owned and operated. So I'm providing you, the listener, with a positive frame of reference about generational wealth. In that scenario, they give back to the community. They do some type of community outreach or activism. They either, have their own nonprofit organization or they pay into one. And like I said, they hire their own and they take care of their own community. And those are the types of people that I highlight in the highlight section. And the last qualifying factor, that all the businesses that I highlight in the highlight section on the Narrative Podcast, they align up with my theme. And my current theme is the season of summer. And, this is technically the last week of summer because they already, they're shopping, going back to school. I'm going to just go off on a little side tangent before diving into the highlight section. This back to school stuff is officially a finesse at this point. Because while it's noble to, think about children that don't have the financial means to start school, so their self-esteem will be there. So, I kind of understand clothing, I understand shoes, but I'm not understanding the back-to-school supplies, the backpacks, the pencils, the pens. For the first 3 weeks, none of that is relevant. They don't even start giving homework until darn near the end of the month. They don't start giving homework till darn near the end of the month. So you don't even need all that stuff. And now It's tax write-offs for schools and for educators to provide, you know, back to school um, supplies to their students. Like they get tax write-offs and all that to like keep backpacks and notebooks and pencils and planners and you know pencil cases and pouches and all that junk. Like it's a finesse to me. I'm sorry because like just keeping it real because on the first day of school, a child's going to lose that backpack. They're going to leave it. What happened to your backpack? $90, $100, $200. They left it on the bus. They left it on the school bus or the city bus. They left it on the city bus or public transportation like the subway or the train. They ain't getting it back. $200 down the drain. And they ain't even using it yet anyway because they ain't assigned no homework. You know what I'm saying? Like every year. But anyway, that's just my little way I'm viewing the back to school thing. But it is what it is. But for all intensive purposes, Gregorian calendar aside, it is still like the season of summer. And the businesses featured here on the Narrator Podcast highlight section are indicative of the season of summer. So, people eat all year round. I try my very best to not just only do food, but I ain't even gonna lie, I was kind of stuck on some businesses to do for the highlight section this week on the Narrative Podcast. So, in instances like that, what I typically do is I kind of see, what food month is it? And lo and behold, what national food holiday is it? It's National Julienne French Fry Day. August 12th, Julienne French Fry Day. So for those that are not familiar with julienne in the culinary world, in short, is basically shoestring. So it's basically like or shoestring or matchstick. You're cutting vegetables and fruits into like matchsticks, like long, skinny, flat pieces. And typically where you would find julienne French fry is in or julienne potatoes is in French cuisine. They call them frites, and they're often paired with hanger steak, which is basically like a skirt steak. And French speaking Canadians, they took it up that another notch, and they created this dish called poutine. And poutine is like julienne potatoes with gravy and cheese curd. So my methodology in celebrating the keeping in stride with julienne National Julienne Potato Day was to highlight businesses owned and operated by original men and women, or in this case, I think it's just all men that I'll be highlighting today. I'll check my notes in a second, but celebrating, julienne, or as we call it here in the States, French fries, loaded fries. So the businesses highlighted in the highlight section are businesses that feature or specialize in loaded fries. Now, a disclaimer, I've said it many times on my platform, for original people, Starchy food is like toxic to our physiology, so we need to stay away from starchy foods because they build up inside of us and they turn into refined sugar, which is also toxic. But hey, if you're into it, I ain't trying to tell you how to live your life. If you like French fries, if you like loaded fries, I'm just going to give you some places to go out and get your fry on. So the first business in the highlight section of the Narrator podcast that I will be featuring today in the way of loaded fries is What's the Fries? And the proprietors' names are Jamie Barnes and Greg Williams. Their contact information is they basically advertise on Instagram at What the Fries, on IG, or at Chef Barn 757 or at Greg Will 29. And I think I forgot to put it in the bulleted points, but let me see where I wrote it at. All right, so basically their story is they both met in college while at Johnson and Wales University in Charlotte, North Carolina. They became friends immediately. They became so tight that Greg got married and included Jamie in his wedding. Their business came about after both of them participated and signed up in the show called The Great Food Truck. They didn't win the competition. However, their food truck idea was obviously loaded fries. They kept their business. They have, unique business opportunity and savvy. What sets their particular fries apart is their sauces that they have for each fry. The loaded fry. They also have wraps and tacos or fish tacos as well. But when I looked them up, they said they're temporarily closed right now. But I think they're still advertising. I think they're just like doing pop-ups on Instagram. So you got to constantly, frequently check their, their gram. They said they kind of went out of business because the cost of food went up, and then they had some food truck problems. But again, another reason why I featured them on the highlight section is their ingenuity. They when they purchased their food truck, it was just basically a abandoned FedEx truck, and they took it and transformed it into a food truck. So they've been having like a string of bad luck or misfortune, like their deep fryers then went down, and the truck itself got ran down. But if just keep your ear to the net and support them brothers the next time you're out in North Carolina. Go support What the Fries, and because those are some innovative brothers. They're doing for the community. They're providing them with decent products and offering jobs to the community, helping people prep cooks and all that. So help them in this time that they're going through. If they're in the loaded fry business, support their business. Keep an eye glued on the net, and send some business their way. demand that What If Fries makes a return and just speak it back into the universe. And I'm pretty sure that they'll make a comeback and come back stronger than ever. So support What If Fries if you're in the North Carolina area. So join me in giving Mr. Jamie Barnes and Mr. Greg Williams a warm narrative podcast round of applause for What If Fries. Pardon me, I said What If Fries. What the Fries is their business. It's What the Fries. Like, what the fry? You know what I mean? That's their business. But anyway, I usually have 2 to 4 business reference on my highlight section. I just got 2 because these stories, was the most interesting. There's literally thousands of restaurants out there that has loaded fries on their menus. But during my search, these 2 just stuck out the most to me. But you can do your own due diligence to celebrate this day, National Julienne Potato Day. Or yeah. So the next business I will be highlighting in the highlight section of the Narrative Podcast is Craig Batiste, or Mr. Fries, Mr. Fries Man, the Mr. Fries Man's, and the proprietor is Craig Batiste and his wife, Miss Batiste. I think it says her name on their website that I'll be giving you in just a second. The original location was established in 2016 in Gardena, California. Their store 108 is in Gardena, California, the very first brick and mortar What the Fries. 14800 South Western Ave, Gardena, California, 98249, or you can go to info@mrfries.com and or Mr. Fries. Just type in Mr. Fries in the browser. It'll take you right to his site. Basically, his business started out of necessity. His wife, I guess, she was kind of depressed because she lost her job. He got tired of her, being the husband, being the innovator, provider, and all that. He decided to create a job for his wife. He and his wife, because he was working too, but I guess he wasn't fully satisfied with his, whatever he was doing at the time. But he decided to make French fries, and the idea just kind of like most ideas, it just amalgamated from something that you like anyway. He said one of his favorite foods of all times was French fries. And, the light bulb went off and said, hey, what if I started a restaurant that served nothing but French fries? And, that's what he did. He manifested into a reality. His first business was in, his backyard. Created his first batch literally from some frozen French fries that he got from the 99-cent store. He said he played around with some toppings, put it up on social media, on Instagram, which he's still, using today. way back in 2016 and start using Instagram. And I gotta say, when it comes to this internet, I gotta give it up to my California family, my brothers and sisters over in California. They are innovative AF when it comes to this computer advertising their eateries. Like, I think the first viral kitchen that I heard of pop up was Trap Kitchen. They utilized Instagram to blow up, and so he did the same. And so his business, kind of got its meteoric rise through the endorsement of the late great Nipsey Hussle. He kind of just, went to their spot on a humbug, liked the product, endorsed the product, took a picture on his Instagram, advertised, their product on his Instagram, and ever since then, they had an influx. They couldn't stay in supply after Nipsey put his stamp on it, and they've been in business ever since. They have expanded nationally. They now have Mr. Fries in Atlanta. They now have Mr. Fries in Texas, in Utah, North Carolina, Florida, and Maryland. And they've also, of course, expanded their business in California. They got them in Sacramento, Ontario, and Simi Valley. So, that's a true definition of motivated. He got tired of his wife, being depressed about looking for a job. He got off his duff and he did something about it, And sometimes that's just how it be. Sometimes when you're on the path of becoming an entrepreneur, the opportunity to start your own business presents itself just like that, in a weird way, because the universe telling you, like, dang, I keep on trying to assimilate in this 9-to-5 world. I keep on having these blockages, and if you keep on having blockage after blockage, you keep on getting fired job after job, or stuck at dead end, go nowhere job after job. That might be the universe telling you to create your own medium for your own means in which to sustain yourself, because then nobody can fire you, nobody can lay you off, nobody can strip you from things that you worked hard for, strip you of your benefits, or whatever you got coming to you from working a 9-to-5 job, tell you when you can and can't take off work, and what reason is justified, what is justified and what is not justified as a justifiable reason. And it just be like that sometimes, and I felt it very important to share his story about entrepreneurialism on the Narrative Podcast. So join me in giving a warm Narrative Podcast round of applause to Mr. Craig Batiste and Mr. Fries. All right, here we go. Moving right on along. The next section here on the Narrative Podcast is the Spotlight section. In the Spotlight section, what I'm doing is I'm celebrating the accomplishments or spotlighting a brother or sister prominent or affluent within our community, a prominent figure within our community. Usually it's in the realm of entertainment. Usually it's an actor, an actress, an athlete, a comedian, a public figure, a model, a religious figure, or just somebody that has a polarizing public figure that represents us, publicly. They either, you utilize their platform to represent us in a positive way by speaking on our issues, doing some type of philanthropy within our community, giving back to the cause, and I call it the cause, not the struggle, because if we believe in the power of words here on the Narrative Podcast. We call it the struggle, you will feel like you're struggling, so we refer to it as the cause here on my platform. But basically, making us look good, making us, painting us in a positive light, either through their contributions, through their actions, or just the way they carry and conduct themselves in the eye of the public. Like I said, usually it's an entertainer in the entertainment industry. As of late, it's just been regular people. But I might start highlighting entertainers again pretty soon when I feel some of them has been, done something noteworthy to get the spotlight here on the Narrative Podcast. And then, not to gloat, but, oh yeah, I kind of skipped over the purpose of the spotlight section. So, the purpose of the spotlight section is basically to create the healthy habit of utilizing your platform, your public platform, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitter, whether it's, Clubhouse, whatever you're active on, utilize that platform in a positive way to uplift and edify your brother and your sister, rather than kick them while they're down, drag them all up and down social media, or say something using your platform to air out dirty laundry, or say something negative or nasty about a brother or sister online. That's the purpose of the spotlight section here on the Narrative Podcast. And I would say, I've done a very good job on it. I would step out on the limb and say that I, single-handedly, Halsey Allen, have created a wave for spotlighting. Because before I added a spotlight section to my platform, the Narrative Podcast, nobody was spotlighting anybody. And, proof's in the pudding. Imitation is the best form of flattery. There are so many people that spotlight now every time somebody has a guest on their show, whether it's a YouTube channel, whether it's another podcast, a television show where they're about to interview a guest. They usually start out by saying, today on this such and such, we will be spotlighting, whoever and whatever. And before I added the spotlight section to my podcast, like, nobody was doing that. And that really kind of makes me feel good. So even if nobody openly acknowledges, my contribution here on the Narrative Podcast, proof's in the pudding that people listen to my platform. Well, because of my, my stats, I check my stats. And, if nobody was listening to my podcast, I wouldn't bother doing it every week. And I'm almost into episode 300 right now. So people are obviously listening, showing the brother love. But I haven't had like a quote unquote viral moment. But just for the simple fact that so many people are doing it, that lets me know they're listening. Um, I be checking like I'm active on social media. It's like it's when you think it's a coincidence, it's really not a coincidence. When people sitting up there, monitoring you, you're always being watched. It's not a coincidence when people are, saying stuff that I say, using nuances that I use, imitating my voice when they're doing their you know, podcast broadcast, imitating me, but not directly just saying it's me. You know what I'm saying? So like it ain't a coincidence, and it's all love, and I take it as all love. Because if you didn't love, you wouldn't tune in every single week to the Narrator podcast. And they might get out of pocket and nasty one of these days. One of these content creators, they're probably one of these days. Oz Allen, never heard of him. But we know you have, and we know you love it, and I love you. I love you right on back. So I know who you are, you know who I am. Let's be clear. Matter of fact, since we know each other, why don't you hit me up and we can have a little meeting of the minds, because we have the same goal for the people that are actively listening and referencing me. But anyway, that's basically like the purpose of the spotlight section on the Narrative podcast is to edify and uplift, create the health we have of saying something positive and something nice about a brother or sister doing something positive in our community. So without no further ado, this week on the spotlight section of the Narrative podcast, the spotlight goes to Miss Lauren Hester. Lauren Hester is a Georgia Tech grad with a majors in psychology. She worked early on with the campus's equality and inclusion impact of living, learning community. But before she, officially transitioned to Georgia Tech in high school, she was in a program called Engages. And what Engages is basically, it's like their initiative is STEM, and STEM stands for Science, Technology, and Engineering, and Mathematics. That's the M on it. But that's what they focus on in Project Engages. They want, to diversify that industry, to have more of our people in that industry, in that high demand field of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Because we live in a highly technologically advanced world these days, and you need those skills and people to represent us in that industry as well. But after a little while later, she developed her own program. Susan Thomas Lab, and in that program, what that focuses on mainly is like the study of like immunizations, like how to build, natural defenses for like diseases like the flu, and so no vax She ain't making vaccines. She's just trying to, study how to, um, fortify the human immune system naturally, not chemically. Just, supercharging, our natural defense mechanisms. That's what she does in that lab. And she's creating, more jobs and stuff in that study. I guess it's called immunization. Let me punch it up right quick. Forgot to write that in the notes, but hey, what is that study? Polyparatism. That's what that lab focuses on. Immune research, basically. That's what she does. Her microbiology is what she is studying with that lab that she created. Her future goals. Some other accomplishments she's also done is she started like doing a humanitarian type thing, a pay it forward program initiative, just to get people to return the favor. She started programs such as that. We all saw that one movie, Pay It Forward. So she did something along those lines. Her future plans, she plans to work in public health and provide psychological and basic health needs of the community. So, like, dentistry and diet and just all the stuff we need in our community. We definitely need more psychologists because, we have been, out of all the people here in America, we have been the most traumatized mentally with all the things they do to us on a constant every day. So it's always, refreshing to hear somebody in that field that can provide us, that psychiatric healing from all the trauma that we've been placed under. Also, that it's coming from within one of us and not having the things that we confide in them be weaponized against us, because this is like the biggest reason why we as a community we don't embrace therapy, because we've had too many therapists betray us, split up the family structure, use supposedly confidential notes, things you tell them, the psychiatrist in confidence, as a means to split up the black family, or original family, as I say on my platform. Separate the children, remove the children at the home, send the man to jail, isolate the mother, make her do some type of program. These are the tactics that the enemy uses on us. But I digress. We are in awe of this young sister's accomplishments. We wish her well in life. And so join me in giving this sister a warm Narrator Podcast round of applause for her accomplishments, Miss Lauren Hest. Alrighty, Rudy. So moving on, my next section here on the Narrator podcast. This section is called the Health and Wellness section. In this section, what I'm doing is I'm providing health and wellness tips for my people, original people. The reason why I feel I need to provide health and wellness tips for our people is because our people are the most attacked people on this planet. The powers that be attack us mentally, physically, and spiritually. And, have to put the knowledge out there for us to armor up and protect ourselves in all the areas that we're being attacked by the powers that be. Just making it known some things you can stay in total body wellness because health is wealth. You can spend up money, but your health is eternal. It's for as long as you're going to occupy this physical shell that you're in. So you might as well make the rest of your life the best of your life. And, so things to look forward in this section. Usually I talk about the health, if we're talking on the physical side of it, I talk about the health benefits of certain fruits, vegetables, plants, herbs, extracts that you can ingest or apply topically to improve your health physically, or some type of physical exercise you can do to maintain your health, to sustain you and improve your longevity. So you're healthy. Because often what happens when you finally do, everybody's in pursuit of the bag. Everybody's in pursuit of the bag. But they're not taking care of themselves before they get the bag. And then when they finally get the bag, the bag provides a quick, a fast lane to excess. And, basically by the time you get the bag, you're in such poor physical health that you spend most of all the bag that you've acquired taking care of yourself, running back and forth to the doctor, hiring personal trainers to get yourself in shape. So you need to already have a physical regimen before you get the bag and be in a good, physical space, be able to have full range of motion and be able to walk a flight of stairs without getting out of breath and, bend over to tie your shoes and, just like have full flexibility in all your limbs without being dependent on some type of machine. So, physical exercise is a big part of it, something I discuss on the Narrator podcast. Also, guarding against your spirits, because we're spiritually attacked. So, I talk about a lot of spiritual practices here on the Narrator podcast, such as like prayer, meditation, other spiritual exercises you can perform to ward off, these like demonic spirits. Because let's talk about it. There are demonic spirits at play that are plaguing our people, cast onto us by the powers that be. And then mental things you can do to stay in good mental health, because your mind is where it all starts, where creation starts. Everything starts in the mind. You amalgamate and manifest reality in your mind. So if your mind is warped and in your mind, you're thinking poor thoughts, you don't have an undisciplined mind, you're going to produce unstructured and undisciplined results in your life. Nothing's ever going to be in sync. Your emotions are always going to stay all over the place. Basically, you're going to keep getting smacked around by life because you haven't, exercised the powers of your mind, which is, the most important muscle in the body. Your mind controls everything. So, you have to stay in good mental health. You have to identify your emotions. You have to become intellectually intelligent, emotionally intelligent. Excuse me, I say intellectually, but yeah, intellectually intelligent as well. And, also you have to keep a strong mind so your mind cannot be corrupted and warped by the powers that be that play mind games on us and control our thoughts. And it's very, like, people like make fun of it when we saw Get Out, but it's a very real thing to put people under post-hypnotic suggestion. It's very easy to implant a post-hypnotic suggestion in somebody, and it could be as subtle as somebody walking past you, coughing. You think they're coughing on you, like, "Hey man, what you coughing and sneezing on me for?" They planted a post-hypnotic suggestion in you, clinking something, making a noise, embedding something into your subconscious that you're not even aware of, because you're not conditioning and exercising your mind. A well-conditioned, disciplined mind is, safeguarded against psionic attacks like that. Every once in a blue moon, I throw a curveball at you. In the health and wellness section on the Narrator podcast, I'll talk about, quantum law, divine law, metaphysics, quantum physics, the natural order of things, nature, esoteric type stuff, manifestation type stuff, like, yeah. And today is a curveball kind of day. Today is a curveball type day. Last week I talked about listing and journaling, the importance of that. So I hope you guys did your homework and are listing and journaling to, manifest things into fruition. Today I'm going to give you another nugget in that realm of organizing things in the pursuit of your goals. The concept isn't really super trippy. This is like a real super basic concept. You have to chart your progress. So when you're manifesting your goals, when you're making your goals, when you're making your list, when you're saying your affirmations, journaling, listing things, make sure to include a graph or a chart to, record your progress. Because like I said, when you're writing things down, you're releasing kinetic energy. When you're writing things, when you're transcribing things, you're releasing the kinetic energy into the cosmos. You're making it a reality. It's affirming to your subconscious mind it is real. So charting your progress is just as important, or I dare say even more important, as listing or journaling or making a plan, writing down steps in pursuing, your dreams or whatever you're trying to attract into your life. You got to take, when you're breaking it down into steps, whatever you're doing, executing your steps, your progress, that's just as important as executing your plan. because that's affirming to your brain that it's working. The plan's working. So every day, anytime you get a W anywhere while you're on your path in pursuit of whatever it is you're trying to manifest, make time to chart your progress. Like, for example, if you're exercising, okay, you're doing an at-home workout. When you started your fitness journey, you couldn't do 200 push-ups. So you started out, you did sets of 5 to get your 200 push-ups. Then from your sets of 5, you did sets of 10 to get your 200 push-ups. Then after your sets of 10, after that got too easy for you, you just went on and just, build up your tolerance, and you can now do 200 push-ups with ease. So chart your progress. I can now do 200, like do the whole journey. I was struggling. I started 5 sets of 5. I was struggling trying to get my 200. I had to. And then also when you're charting your progress, be specific. Do your time, your dates, everything. So one of the best ways to chart your progress is like a pie graph or a bar graph to chart your project. Chart your progress. Excuse me. It's like I started here, and now I'm doing it. And then under your progress, say it's working. Right? It's working when you're charting your progress. I can now do this. I can now do that. I couldn't do this. I'm now able to. It's working. So you got the visual proof. You're seeing it work. You're seeing the results. If it's a financial goal, hey, I was always spending my money up. Now I save. I got, I started saving pennies. And I did a week of saving pennies, just putting pennies in the penny jar. At the end of the month, I got $5 off of my pennies. Then I graduated, I started saving my quarters. Got 10. You know what I'm saying? You're going up, you're leveling up. And now, from the dime, nickel, quarters, you graduating, you setting dollars aside. More on finance and investing. I'm learning to invest. I didn't know anything about this topic, about this type of investment. I didn't know anything about this type of investment. I learned about this today. Time, date. I took this amount of money. I invested in this. I lost this, but then, as you're going on with the investment, if you're an investment guru, you're always going to have loss. But then, like, when you make a profit, okay, I made X amount. The Dow is up, the whatever is up, the Nasdaq's up, the Dow's up, and I made X, Y, and Z profit. Or if you're into real estate, I fixed this house up, I flipped this, or if you got a vending machine, whatever you're doing for passive income, chart your success, chart your profit. So anything you're doing, whatever type of goal you have for yourself, chart your progress. I didn't know this when I started out. Now I know to do this. Now I'm seeing the progress. I'm seeing the fruits of my labor. I've elevated. I went from this level to this level. Because, like, how many gamers out there? Video gamers, in the world of gaming. Don't you get frustrated? Like, before they came up with the game card, right? You save. What do? You save all your progress. You're charting your progress, your levels, all the stages that you pass. All your stats for you. If you like the sports game, the teams that you build. All your progress is saved. It's visually in front of you. You know, I beat this level. I beat this stage. You know, all my men or all my, you know, whatever you have representing you, they're all leveling up. They started at this stage, at champion stage. Now we're at ultimate level. But the point being, chart your success. When you chart your progress, chart your success, no matter how minute you think it is, write it down, you know, because your ultimate goal in life is just basically to be better than you was yesterday. And to know, you know, how much, to know it's working for you, you got to document that. You got to see that you made progress. You got to affirm it to your subconscious. Hey, we're doing the right thing. This is working. We're going to have the thing we're trying to manifest. We're going to get that car. We're going to get that house. We're going to buy that land. We're going to have whatever you're trying to have, whatever certain specific set, you know, amount of money you're trying to have. We want to go to this place. If you're trying to visit and see something, I'm going to go to this place. I've always wanted to go to this place. I'm going to see that place. Relationships, I like this person, you know, well, I don't know if relationships is like a good idea, because if they ain't feeling you, they ain't feeling you. You can chart all the progress you want to, but if you got your mind or heart set on somebody that ain't feeling you, they ain't finna work. I don't believe. In rare cases it does, but like, you know, because are you attracting or are you chasing in that realm? My limited knowledge in that, you know, don't chase. But everything else, chart your progress. And then not only to chart your progress, celebrate. Celebrate your progress. Check one, check two. Yeah, I'm still here. Don't just chart it, celebrate it. Get happy when you see you made progress. Because when you're happy, that releases some pheromones and be like, okay, I like this feeling. So now I'm happy at this level. When I get to the next level, I'm gonna be even happier. You're creating that, you know, that sense of urgency. Like, I want to feel like this. So now I'm gonna do more of this to get to this level. Because it feels good to win, don't it? When you're winning, it feels great. It feels great to see the fruits of your labor, to know you made an impact in your life, to know you're not just spinning your wheels. So yeah, chart your progress and celebrate your wins, and know, and in that way you can affirm to your subconscious that, you know, you're turning the corner, you're making progress, all your work is not in vain. You will end up victorious. You will have the life that you want for yourself. You will have that thing that you're trying to attract, whether it's a place, whether it's a thing, you know, whatever it is that you're trying to, you know, attract into to your world, whatever result that you're trying to see, you're going to get it by charting your progress. Well, that's it, and that's all for the health and wellness section of the Narrator podcast. So, you guys, chart your progress. I'm definitely charting mine. All right, on to the next section of the Narrator podcast. This section is called the speaking points. Um, Speaking point of the day, and my speaking point of the day is basically like current events, things going around in the globe, or things going on specifically in our community. I unpack various subjects from our perspective. And the reason why I do that, to do my speaking point of the day, or to offer my commentary on whatever is currently trending, whether it's globally or within our neighborhood, is to control the narrative. Because if the world hasn't taught, as history hasn't taught us anything, if history hasn't taught us anything, it's taught us this. If you don't tell your own story, your story will be told for you. So the purpose of, me delivering commentary on various topics is basically telling our story for us through our perspective, through our lens, not the, false narrative of the media, how they falsely portray our people, because they'll have us looking and sounding crazy if we don't tell our own stories. So that's why I do, speaking point of the day. And I got a whole lot of topics I want to touch on, but like I said, I try to keep it brief, simple, to the point. I got my bulleted points, so I'm trying to just, briefly keep every topic as brief as possible, and, talk about it, preach church on it. All right, so this was a new one to me. It came across my feed. They are cloning like chickens. Like the FDA has approved the cloning of chicken. Like they're actually like laboratory inventing chickens, not hatching them out of eggs. This is like they're full on cloning whole chickens. I seen something. It was like an actual vat, like an aluminum. I'm guessing like an aluminum vat, where like whole chickens was inside the vat. They take the cell and do some type of DNA type splicing type deal, and that scares the ever living crap out of me. I don't eat meat, but they've been doing it to vegetation as well. So they out here cloning chickens and stuff. And if they're doing it to chickens, they're doing it to beef and pork and all that. They say they do it to, to not harm the animals, and to have them living more humanely and not rolling around in their own filth like they do in farms. But that our government, it's not really a shocker, because so many things we eat in the U.S. is banned in other countries. Like, we got the most toxic ketchup ever. Like our ketchup, like three of our ketchup brands, Heinz, what is the other one? It's Heinz and another ketchup brand we have in the U.S. Let me see. Punch it up right quick. Because I don't like talking out on, I like to be just I don't want to present misinformation, so that's why I'm saying punch it up right quick. So it's looking like Heinz, um, Del Monte, pretty much all our top. Heinz and Del Monte, I guess, is like our two top brands that's banned in every other, uh, banned in several countries overseas. They won't sell them. Heinz and Del Monte ketchup. But sidebar, the Heinz ketchup in Canada is all natural and doesn't contain any of the additives and dyes that they use here in America to make it so toxic. So I guess the moral of the story is make it yourself. Like make your own ketchup if you can. Like do the knowledge. There's all kind of. We got YouTube and TikTok now. I'm pretty sure you can find a ketchup formula if you like ketchup on your julienne French fry, because today is julienne potato day. So if you want some ketchup on your fries or frites, and that's real weird because in French they call it frites and it's skinny, but then in places like in the UK they're thick cut and they call them frites. Weird, but anyway, yeah. So if you can help it, make your own ketchup. Because like Canada and the UK, they got their own versions of our brands over here, but they don't use any of the ingredient. That's bizarre. So just watch what you're putting in your body. Clone chicken, ketchup, and there's all kind of other condiments banned. So keep your radar up for that. What else is going on here in the world? Something I want to talk about today. All right, so I guess it kind of got to revisit the Alabama brawl, the Alabama slammer, the Montgomery mollywop. The paddle boat pimp slap. I could think a whole bunch more, but like the incident that happened in Montgomery, Alabama on that fateful day that, some unruly people just decided they wasn't going to follow the rules. I kind of want to touch on some points now that it's kind of playing out a little bit more. And some interesting things that's coming to my attention, something that I'm loving, is I'm seeing our youth affected by it in a good way. Not traumatized, not going out seeking vengeance, but they really want to make positive change in the world. I'm seeing a whole lot of young people, Gen Zers, post things on the internet, and one that really stuck with me, I wish I would have saved the video, but there was a young man on TikTok, and his voice, just that sincerity in his voice about wanting to be the change. He said it activated something in him. And that's what I'm seeing all up and down my timelines on social media. Is it's activated our people, like Gen X and Gen Z, or Gen X and the baby boomers. It's like we kind of been asleep for a while, and we just Quite frankly, I think we just all kind of, as a people, like in our generation, I think we done got tired because we've been just like got weary and seeing like it just, these scenarios play out more and more and more where we got it on camera, we're not getting any justice. And, we got tired of the same old song. But I do think it kind of ignited something within our community. It's like a powder keg went off. And it's making people realize that, if we band together, if we stick together, if we stay on one accord, we can bring about the change that we're seeking. Not only when just, when people outside of our community get out of pocket, we can work together to neutralize any threat. We can even work together to neutralize threats within our own community. Everybody's always complaining about the gang violence and, the random act of violence that we commit against each other. If we all come up as a community together, we can neutralize that too and say we're tired of it. We're tired of these rest in peace t-shirts over some silly mess that started on social media. We're tired of burying our children before they even got a chance to go through puberty. We're tired of, sitting in our homes and getting hit by a random stray bullet that wasn't intended or meant for us. That's crazy. We can band together for anything is what I'm saying. Also, we can band together against this oppressive systemic system. And it really, in reality, begins with us, the original people. Because the whole world, they copy off of us. They follow our lead. We're the most influential people on the planet. And when we stick together within our own community and rise up as a people and start, putting the pressure where the pressure needs to be applied, other people will join in with us. We will stand up together as a nation to overcome all the things that this government does to us as a people, things that they just do to us and then don't even give us an explanation. Like, why are we paying all these taxes? What's the purpose of them? Nobody has no explanation. If we all stand up together as a unified people and say, no, we're not going to pay these damn taxes no more. We're not going to just sit up there, let y'all keep on taking our money, and y'all ain't even telling us what y'all doing with it. Stand together against these stupid policies that we come up with, these forcing us to get immunizations and these dumb rules and these even dumber laws that they make up. Specifically, most of them are targeted at our people. If we rise up together and protest against that, they'll stop messing with us. We rise up in protection against the police. When we see the police out of pocket brutalizing us, that'll stop. Because like I said, it's an awakening happening right now that sparked an awakening. People were coming into a realization that if we stand together, we can do anything. And I think also fear is getting alleviated. That moment helped alleviate fear, because our biggest fear as a people for us not coming together is, I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to go to jail and start all over again. I don't want to get locked up. Now we done, that moment is teaching us, not to care no more and, see it a different way. They can't lock all of us up. They can't kill all of us. You know, it's sparking that 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 uh that um that common sense thinking. Like if we all band together as people, if we all walk off the job, let them do their own job and figure it out. Now we're starting to crunch the numbers. I say, hey, wait a minute. You know, black and brown people make up 80% of our military might. If we all just start leaving our branches of the military, what they gonna do without us? We threaten to leave the military if you don't give us what you owe us. We will shut this MFer down. We will walk off these federal jobs. We'll walk up out of these schools that ain't teaching our children a damn thing no way. If we're educators, we're going to walk away from that teaching job. We will shut this nation down if we can take and apply that same unity in that moment that people that didn't even know each other, never met each other, but just saw the need. A brother was in distress, a brother was in need. We take and apply that same unity to everything that we're having a problem with right now in this country, we would be unstoppable. And it's being realized now, and it's being transcended into reality. People are moving, acting, talking, and walking differently since just that isolated incident. Now people got a fresh perspective, looking at it all the way different. Like the fear is getting alleviated. Like now it's well, shoot, I'm not. We ain't going. They done took everything away from us anyway. Nobody wants to go to jail. Things have to get worse before they get better. Now, we don't want to solve our problems with physical violence, of course, but at the same time, now we've crossed into the threshold of not being afraid if we have to go there, if they make us go there. Because, like I said, you can't lock all of us up, you can't kill all of us. So once they see that we realize that, things will start changing. Because it's so crazy. Something trending right now is that old movie, animated Pixar movie. And sometimes cartoons get it right. It's supposed to just be a little laugh, but every once in a blue moon you will see a little animated cartoon or a short to put things in perspective for you. And something that's been trending lately is that 1996 movie Ants. And there was a scene in there the grasshoppers was taking the food supply. And then they figured out, because one ant stood up to him, and the scene was well, he's just one puny little ant. What can he do? And then so to prove, his point, he took a little grain of I think it was like a little piece of rice in their world, and threw it at the guys that was laughing. Did that hurt? No, that didn't hurt. And he threw another one. Did that hurt? And each time he's taking a piece of grain, said, no, that didn't hurt. But he's making a point as he's doing it. And then finally, because it wasn't catching on, he takes the pin out of the stockpile where the grain was at. And then, the grain suffocates, the other grasshoppers. So he went to that extreme to make his point. And the point was, it all starts with one lonely ant. Because if they realize from that one little lonely ant's perspective that they are significant, that they do mean something, that they can accomplish anything, that would be the end of our existence. We wouldn't be at the top of the food chain anymore if we let that one stand up to us. And so with the Montgomery, Alabama thing, I think that's capturing that little animated incident, like the animated little scene that I'm talking about. Like maybe I can punch that up and see to give you a broader context of what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but we can forget about him. Yeah, it was just one ant. You're right. It's just one ant. Yeah, boy, they're puny. Puny? Say, let's pretend this queen is a puny little ant. Did that hurt? No. How about this one? Are you kidding? How about this? You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. You're a piece of dirt. No, I'm wrong. You're lower than dirt. You're an ant. Let this...
Wow. Did you hear what he said? This is how them filthy beasts think too. They think we're lower than dirt. You hear what he said? You're lower than dirt. You're an ant. And that's kind of what they think about us. That's how they treat us. And so, like, if we strip that stigma away and stand together in unity in everything we do, they'll never be able to stop us. Like, if we stop fighting amongst each other and network and unify, we definitely can change things around. Like, for real. It's not, some wishy-washy dream. Like, we've seen it done within our community. All the movement. We've seen the Montgomery, Alabama bus boycott. We've seen, all instances in time where we banded together, stayed unified. We've seen it what unification does in the Black Panther Party. We saw that. We got to witness that. What happened when they band together and unified. We're seeing it now in our most successful movement that we currently have, the NOI, their unity that they have. So if we all band together, no matter, what your religion is, no matter what your spiritual belief is, no matter, ideology or whatever, and band together against things that we know are wrong, we can't, they can't stop us. They can't divide us. They can't push us around. They can't make us do things we don't want to do. Because we're in an age of an awakening and people are just like connecting the dots. We're saying, hey, food is free. Why are we paying for food? Air is free. Why are we paying for air? Why are they charging us to get sick? And once we unify and stand up together, they can't like bully us around and push us around and keep us divided as a people. And I'm not talking just like our people within our community. I mean as a whole. Like just this whole thing called humanity, the civilization, the human race. Then when we unify like that, we all can sit down together at the proverbial table of brotherhood and be fulfilled and have everything life has to offer. But we got to get past that division and start uniting together. But in order to unite globally, we got to first unite within our own communities, within our own neighborhoods, within our own families. Can you dig it? Kind of a moot point. This is just a little silly, immature moment, but everybody keeps on calling it. You know, when the brother took off the hat, they said he flashed the bat signal. Everybody saying the bat signal. I already, like, on my last week post, I compared it to the Thundercat signal. If you watched the 1980s Thundercats. Now, if you paid attention, like Batman, when he had the bat signal, it was just him and Robin. And it took a while to get there. When they seen the bat signal, it took a while for him to leave the Batcave, get his gear on, get into his costume. When they seen the bat signal, this was immediate. So I think the Thundercat signal was more, you know, of when he threw the hat off. I think it's the new Thundercat signal because, like, in Thundercats, like, yo, check it out, like, sometimes the other Thundercats wouldn't even be on the same planet. Sometimes the Thundercats wouldn't even be on the same planet. The leader pull out his sword, flash the Thundercat signal. The Thundercat signal go way out in outer space. They be like, they see it, they be like, oh, he's in trouble. Bam! And they, like, all the way from outer space to where the Thundercat signal was, and they pulling up on bumpers. Like, for real. But everybody keeps saying the bat signal. I just think it was more like the Thundercat signal. Because they was coming out the woodwork when they saw it. They was like, when they would see the Thundercat signal, they would drop whatever they was doing, whatever they was working on, whatever they was repairing, whatever they was fixing on. They'd see that signal, like, oh, he's in trouble. They dropped everything and come running. They dropped everything and came running. They didn't try to rationalize it. They didn't be like, oh, well, you shouldn't have been over there messing with him. I'm just saying, though. But that's all I want to touch on more on the like Alabama incident. Is basically that's what I'm saying. I took a real long time to get there, but under it, what I'm saying is, like, if we take that same energy that was at that dock that day, that same concern for their brother that they had, and apply it to every facet in life and every area that we're being attacked by the powers that be right here in America, and take that same fearlessness with the same I don't care what they do to me, but they're going to get up off my brother. We take that same energy and apply that to everything, all the areas that we're being attacked by the powers that be in life. They can't mess with us, man. They would not be able to mess with us. And that's really kind of all I want to say on that. I got another topic. So this next topic is about two communities that keeps on bullying our people, keeps using their power and their influence to make our lives hell. They make our lives hell with lawsuits. They make our lives hell with stripping away our livelihoods, things we built, brands that we started from the ground up. They all of a sudden they say they're offended, and then now they band together. They say they're offended, then now they get They shadow ban people. They get whole pages deleted. They slow down the algorithm, slow down your monetization, or in some cases, take away your monetization or get you banned off of, YouTube, get you banned off of Twitter, all the, the digital mediums where you make money, because these two certain groups get offended, and they're only offended by our people. And they done got real beside themselves in saying what they're offended about. They want to come after our comedians for jokes they performed 20 and 30 years ago and haven't performed it on stage in 20, 30 years. I'm offended. Now you're going to cancel me. In the other community, I'm offended. You're going to apologize, or we're going to take everything from you. We're going to sue you till you don't have no more money. You're not going to be able to work in Hollywood no more because we're offended. You're going to apologize. And what I think, we take that same energy that I just got through talking about with the Montgomery, Alabama that same energy, and stand up to these bullies, because that's what they are, just bullies. This little league making these rules at random to call people anti-Semitic, and then the elemental P community, when they get offended, they want to get to canceling people. So I say to all the people out here, the content creators out here in digital media, all the memers, all the graphic t-shirt designers, this is something that Halsey Allen right here on the Narrative Podcast is putting this idea out in the universe to all the content creators, to all the people that have any type of polarizing figure, to everybody that produces content, everybody that creates things like, graphic tees, memes. We need to unify, because like my space, I believe my space, my position in this, my place in the movement is, I believe I've been chosen to be the herald. And a heralder in olden times was the person to sound the horn, to deliver the message, to break it down and make it plain, and put the message out to the masses. And the message that I'm putting out right now, and I'm trying to inspire everybody listening right now, is to all the content creators. We need to make the slogan something along the lines of, I try not to curse on my platform, but I don't know a non-curse word to say it, to make it have a dynamic impact of the way we feel. But I'm going to go ahead on and say it. We need to put something out in the universe along the lines of, I'm black and I'm not apologizing for shit. We need to get over this little hump of apologizing. We need to get it out and over their heads that we're not going to allow you to make our prominent people within our community, with our religious leaders, our entertainers, or just random people on the internet, to post something and got to get it taken down, get it flagged, because they want an apology. They said it was anti-Semitic. They said it was promoting or inciting phobia, transophobia, phobic this, a phobic that, a phobic that. Phobia, phobic, all that's fear of. Ain't nobody scared of y'all. Just because we don't embrace your lifestyle, that don't even mean we dislike you or hate you. We're just not, it ain't our cup of tea, but damn it, we can talk. We can say stuff. Last time I checked, this is America. And newsflash, nobody outside of our culture ever apologized to us for nothing. Everybody, every race, all the immigrants that's here on the shores of America right now has racially offended us and never offered an apology. Systemically, we've endured the most suffering than any other group in this country, but we've never had an apology for it. We've never had an official, sincere apology for slavery. We never had a sincere, official apology for systemic racism, for incarceration, for like having the deck of cards stacked so vastly against us, we can like barely succeed, barely like survive and keep what little we have, what little resources that we do have, that we barely have. We've never received an apology for it. We're so used to not getting an apology for everything done to us. We done gave up looking for one. We done gave up making people try to apologize. We ain't sitting up here trying to cancel your page for saying the N-word. We ain't trying to run you out of business for saying the N-word, hard R, and N-word jokes. We ain't on that type of time. We got too many other things we trying to do and build to sit up there and make people apologize for things we know that they're not going to apologize for, and if they do apologize, it ain't going to be sincere. So they can keep your raggedy ass insincere apology. But one thing we want to stop doing today, it ends today. I'm putting out the word today. We're done apologizing. We're done trying to enlighten you. We're done intellectually debating with you. We're done giving examples. We're done producing receipts. We're done trying to educate you, trying to enlighten you. You had over 400 years to get up with pick up the slack and get with the times and to, understand where we're coming from. We're tired. We're not explaining nothing no more. We're not explaining our actions. We moving. That's the new demonstration. It's lead, follow, or get out the way. But one thing is for certain, three things for sure. We not apologizing no more. The Jamie Foxx apology and the Neo apology is the last apology y'all gonna get up out of us moving forward. So let it be written. So let it be done. So says Halsey Allen. We declare and decree we not apologizing no damn more for nothing. After everything that done been done to us, we got zero apologies left in us. We not apologizing no more. We not. If you offended, if you got your little raggedy ass feelings hurt, oh well. I don't know what to tell you. But what we're not going to say no more is I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Every time you turn around, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We got to put up a goddamn college thesis essay on all our platforms. We got to tell you why we're sorry, and we didn't know that was offensive to you, and we didn't know this word meant that, and we didn't think of it from that perspective. I sincerely didn't mean to hurt. Man, screw all that. We done apologizing, bro. We done. We're not apologizing no more. We're not. We're not going to allow you to make our celebrities apologize. We're not going to make our religious figures apologize for you no more to appease you. We're done appeasing you. We're done coddling you. We done. You got it in your mind, whatever your perception of us, we know we can't alter it anymore. We know that. Whatever you think about us, it is what it is. It was what it was, and it is what it is. But moving forward, original people, original men, women, we had it. We're sick of it. We're not apologizing. Hashtags, memes, t-shirts. Moving forward, I'm black. I ain't apologizing for shit. Fuck them. I try not to curse on my platforms, but I don't know a nice way to say it. I don't know a nice way to say it. We not apologizing for nothing no more, Jack. Nothing. Don't nobody apologize to us ever. And we ain't gonna sit up there and let you use Christianity against us no more. We ain't gonna let sit up there and use religion on us no more to mind screw us. Well, what would Jesus do? And turn the other cheek and love your man. We do all that, but one thing we're not going to do no more is apologize. Because an apology is sincere, it's heartfelt, and it's always sincere and heartfelt from us. We look them folks in the eyes and be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." We even get that, sympathetic whimper in our voice, and I am so sorry. I did not mean to hurt you and to exclude you. That was never my intent. Because at this point, we know anything we say is going to get taken out of context. They're going to get behind that camera and focus the lens on whatever they want to focus the lens on. They're going to manipulate them video clips. They're going to manipulate them audio clips to make it look like we did something we didn't do, to make it sound like we said something we didn't say, especially with this new AI technology. Like, they're taking people's whole voices and faces now. So then there's that. But one thing we're not going to do moving forward, we're not apologizing no more for nothing. If you're offended, if your feelings is hurt, oh well. Join the party. Cry me a river. Playing the tiniest violin, world's tiniest violin for you. Oh, you hurt my feelings. You offended me. Don't nobody ever apologize to us. Are you crazy? We're done apologizing. Apologies is cooked today and every day after the day. We ain't apologizing no more. We're done. The Jamie Foxx apology and the Neo apology was your last apology. You're getting up out of this. Period. Be mad. All right, next order of business on the speaking point of the day section. I've been seeing a lot of video clips, hearing a lot of talk. About this new AI, like actual fake people, which ain't really nothing new because nothing new is under the sun. But I heard a very interesting talk that our sister Monique was having with Roseanne Barr. So Monique, somehow, I don't know what their friendship is like, she is forgiving Roseanne for her little comments. I'm gonna give Monique a benefit of the doubt because her track record kind of been impeccable with like how it is and how they use the system against us. Her track record in exposing stuff has been impeccable. So I'm gonna give her a pass with being friends with Roseanne. But in their conversation, they was talking about, fake people, like people like legit walking around with the little, Hollywood prosthetics, and Scooby Doo masks, like you gotta in Hollywood with the makeup, like you gotta glue it to your face, and they've been seeing like, you know, people not being real. Like they've been circulating little clips of Biden and seeing something kind of in the corner of his forehead looking like a mask is peeling off. And a whole bunch of other celebrities. And also, clips of, being insinuated that certain celebrities have been, compromised with AI. I'm not going to say certain celebrities' names because I don't gossip on this channel. If I don't know it to be a fact, I try not to repeat it. But in this instance, like there was a celebrity in the way how they set their little video up of this celebrity coming out to talk. It was like an AI glitch, a robotic glitch, like a robot malfunctioning during the interviews. Because this person that was talking and they was glitching, like they would freeze up for like 3 seconds when they was answering the question, and then blink their eyes, and you can almost hear like a little robotic in that 3 seconds, and then they start talking normal again. So I don't know. It's some weird stuff going on, man. Oh, wrong sound effect. But yeah, it's some weird stuff going on. Ain't nothing, outside of the realm of possibility. But yeah, definitely we're gonna have to. We know who the enemy is, and ain't nothing off limits. Ain't none of us safe. We know what they're capable of doing. We've seen our people have had everything done to us that can possibly be done to a people. We've had everything you can think of done to us. So nothing is outside of the realm of possibility when it comes to them people and, how they treat us and, what they're capable of doing to us. But yeah, I digress. But yeah, ain't nothing outside of the realm of possibility when it comes to them damn folks. I do believe it is a whole lot of disingenuous, unreal people, and I don't mean that personality-wise. Well, kind of mean personality-wise, but like people that ain't actually people, that are something else. But yeah, so I don't know. Basically, what I'm saying is keep your eyes open, keep your head on swivel. I'm not saying like join the conspiracy theory cult, but it nothing in this world, in this physical plane that we're living on right now, with the powers to be, nothing is shocking. Nothing is as it seems, especially in Hollywood. Cause there's some weirdos in Hollywood, boy, into them strange things. There's more and more celebrities coming forward, giving the spiel what happens in them mansion parties, what happens at those little white affairs, those exclusive like Hollywood parties, the Met Galas, like what really be happening in them type of settings. Like there's some weird ish going on around. It was like they weird. So I don't know. That's really all I want to say. I got one more section before we're gonna bring it to a close tonight on the Narrator podcast. But before I do that, I just want to take an extra special appreciation for a sister that's just doing some remarkable things. She has like really turned the corner, a complete 180. And in the past, I've said some critical sounding things because, like on my podcast, I do keep it real. I don't throw people under the bus. I don't name call people. I don't kick dirt on people. But how in that moment that person was behaving was a poor reflection on all of us. But this person has, did a complete 180, and I'm loving the glow up. And I gotta say her name, Sister Shakari. Dang, I forgot her. Richards, Shakari Richards. That quick, I forgot her name. That quick, I was saying her name wrong. When I first started out a few years ago, I was calling her Shakari, but her name's Shakari, and she been kicking butt, taking names. She has really been just walking that walk, carrying herself with poise, dignity, and grace, and doing the sport justice. And all the predecessors, all the female triathlon competitors that came before her in this country. Because before she was wilding before, but it seems like she done had an epiphany, and she's playing the game right now, and I can stamp that now. You know what I'm saying? But before, how she was carrying and conducting herself, coming up with excuses and finger pointing, and the most important thing was she wasn't having sportsman-like behavior. She's come full circle. She done turned a complete 180. I want to big her up right now. So proud of Shakari Richards. I'm gonna give her a round of applause. But keeping this thing crumping and chunking, on to the very last section of the Narrator podcast. Thank you all so much for hanging in there. So here we go on the final section of the Narrator podcast. This section is the final thought or the final word. And what this section is basically like a section of a gem, a philosophical nugget, a word of wisdom, a wise word, pearls of wisdom, something to get you to think critically, something to resonate with you, to resonate on your consciousness and be like, that's deep. Wow, I never thought about it like that. Or, just something that inspires thinking, right? That's all. Not even so much critical thinking, just to think. So today's final thought or final word of the day, I flip back and forth. Some weeks is final thought, some weeks is final word. But I think this week is final thoughts. And today's final thought of the day is celebrate yourself. Because earlier on in the segment, in the health and wellness section, I said chart your progress, and then I want to you got to celebrate yourself. You got to wake up and just say, hey, I love you. Look yourself in the mirror. Hey, I love you. Celebrate being able to get up out of bed. Celebrate, So celebrate having, full celebrate having full range of motion. Celebrate yourself if you can get up. Or if you're paralyzed, still celebrate you're alive. Maybe you're confined to a wheelchair. But celebrate the fact that you got a wheelchair. Celebrate life. Just, celebrate the small things in life. Celebrate having a roof over your head. Celebrate having clothes on your back. Celebrate having food in your stomach. Celebrate if you don't got $1 in your pocket. That's $1. Some people don't got nothing. Celebrate having people that care about you. Even if you might find them people annoying, celebrate that they're calling and checking on you, that they care about your general well-being. Celebrate having a family. Some people don't have families. You might can't stand your relatives, but celebrate them anyway. Celebrate something positive in your life. Celebrate yourself. Look in the mirror and say, hey, I'm dope. It's not being conceited. It's not being arrogant. This is self-love to the fullest. Like, celebrate yourself. Because you have unique gifts. There's only one you. You're the only you. You might have children that might have you qualities. You might have children, you might have you-like qualities, but there's still only one you. You're the only one. What's the old cliche out of a million sperms? You won the race. And then you definitely hit the lottery if you're an original man or original woman. You won on default when you came into existence, into this physical plane. You're already the cream of the crop. Everybody trying to be like you. Celebrate yourself. Well, that's my time. That is it. That is all. Thanks for listening to the Narrator podcast today. So by the time I share this back on the social media, it'll be well into the evening. So I just know you had a good, productive day. I'm praying you did. And if you didn't, hey, there's always next week. But celebrate yourself. So I broadcast every single weekend without fail. Every single weekend. Look forward to another episode of the Narrator podcast, unless I announce I may not be broadcasting another episode, and I will broadcast. So also I go live every single weekend. I go live every single weekend. Not weekend, but every single weekday. I don't ever know what days I'm going to have available to do a live broadcast of the Narrator podcast, but rest assured, it's usually a day, Monday through Thursday usually, but definitely live. This platform that I'm on, when I'm live, it broadcasts directly to my YouTube channel and my Twitter channel. So to catch me when I'm live, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's just a viewer channel. I don't have one tailored exclusively for the Narrator podcast. It's just my channel and what I'm looking at YouTube on YouTube. But go follow me. Subscribe to my channel, Halsey Allen on YouTube. Click the notification bell, and then I guess you're supposed to click all to get all the notifications from me. So I'm not really, a YouTube content creator, but it broadcasts directly to YouTube when I'm live. Also, follow me on Twitter, and I'm Halsey Allen on Twitter too, because this platform that I'm on broadcasts, directly to Twitter. So I'm Halsey Allen on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter. and you'll get live notifications when I'm broadcasting live. What else I got going on? I've written a book of poetry. It's titled The Black Card, and the Black Card is basically it's like 30 poems that capture really witty and insightful poetry that captures the essence and core of who we are as a people, negative and positive. It's basically like a survival guide. That's why I call it the Black Card. So, it's definitely, it'll make a good coffee table read. It'll definitely make a good travel book. You can take it on the plane, read it on the beach, or, wherever you're going, you can take with you. If you're a tubber, you can read it in the tub. I wouldn't recommend it in the shower. Because like a tub, they got the little, tub caddies you can put stuff on. So like women read all the time in the bathtub. So you can you can read a book in the bathtub. Not so much in the shower. I wouldn't recommend the shower. But it's got a very ultra sleek design. Check it out. You will love it. To purchase the Black Card, you simply just go online to the Poetizer bookstore on poetizer.com and purchase my book, The Black Card. They now charge a premium fee. It used to be a free platform. Now they're charging a premium fee to people on Poetizer. I don't believe they will charge you a fee to browse books in their bookstore for purchase. But definitely go to poetizer.com, go to their bookstore, and purchase your copy of my book by me, an original book of poetry titled The Black Card. Purchase the Black Card today or get your Black Card revoked. So like I said, I write poetry. I'm heavy into poetry. I haven't really been doing poetry in a while because I've been so super active on the podcasting scene and all my other side projects that I got going on and all the other stuff I do for passive streams of income. But, I'm about to get hyper focused again on my poetry because I love it. I'm very passionate about it. But check out my personal poetry blog on blogger.com. It's called Hawes's Poetry Corner. So read it and support that. And the way you support it is you visit this link, Hawes's Poetry Corner, at www.mrhawesblogs.com on blogger.com, and you take and share poems from Hawes's Poetry Corner on all platforms. If you have a visual platform such as TikTok or YouTube, you might actually have to shout out my poetry blog, provided they don't do a copyright strike or whatever against you on YouTube or TikTok. For the visual platforms, you have to shout out, Hawes's Poetry Corner, or shout out whatever poem that you like on Hawes's Poetry Corner. And then there's another option you can take. If you have a Gmail account, you can sign into your Gmail account and leave me comments on my poetry posted on Hawes's Poetry Corner. And they have a comment section. You can write me a note in the comment section on my personal poetry blog on Hawes's Poetry Corner. And yeah, that'll do it. That's it, and that's all, y'all. So thank you so much for listening and tuning in to the Narrative Podcast and helping make the Narrative Podcast the big success that it is for me in my life. And as you notice, every episode gets better, the content gets better, the platform's growing, and I love being the voice for my people. But I am kind of sad to report that I may very soon be taking a little hiatus from the Narrative Podcast, because like I just said, poetry is my first love, and I've been neglecting my first love. So I'm going to start getting more active in poetry. So you might be hearing less and less from me on the podcast side of it, but I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep, putting out those positive frames of reference. I'm going to let you know, like what day, but I'm going to just say right here and now, it's quite a possibility that I might not do a live this week, and it's a possibility that I may not do a full episode of the Narrator podcast this weekend. A possibility. So you're warned. If you don't hear any content from me, this week or this weekend, you've already been warned that it might be a possibility, but rest assured I'll be back with some more content, keeping the ball rolling. But thank you all for supporting, and like I said, by no stretch of the imagination am I giving up, but it's a possibility. And for the simple fact, sometimes you do have to fall back from social media sometimes to like reposition yourself and take a breather. But I'm not done by a long shot. I'm just giving you the heads up warning that I could possibly, next week not be live or do a full episode of the Narrator podcast this weekend, because like I'm trying to do a lot of stuff, trying to get back into my poetry. So yeah, but thanks for listening, thanks for supporting me. Keep tuning in to me wherever you get your podcast from. Download this episode, previously recorded episodes of the Narrator podcast. I'm sending out, nothing but positive vibes. I'm sending you love, light, and healing energy in all your endeavors, everything you got going on in your world. Rooting for you, sending out that positivity. So, you've listened. You are now officially a narrator, and it is now your job as a narrator to put out positive frames of reference. Because I'm Halsey Allen, and my job is to change the narrative one episode at a time, as the host of the Narrative podcast. And in your mission as a listener and supporter of the Narrative podcast is to change the narrative one social media post at a time. Well, that's it, and that's all, y'all. I'm out of here like last year. Thanks for listening. This has been another full episode of the Narrator podcast. This is Halsey Allen and the Narrator podcast. Signing off till next time. Halsey Allen and the Narrator podcast signing off. And it's like that.
Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.